Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Call of Duty Modern Warfare video. In tonight's video, we're going to be talking a bit about the weapon balance in this game, talking about where it is at in the current state as of right now, since we've had a few patch updates that really did help with the balance, but also talking about some things that I think really need to be addressed and changed in regards to certain weapons in the SMG class, in the shotgun class. I'll talk a bit about the balance, I think, in assault rifles and LMGs, touch on that a little bit as well, and focus a lot about overkill, which I think is a perk in this game that really makes the weapon balance interesting because you don't really have to give up too much to start stacking 2 weapons and having 10 attachments. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this video. I want you guys to leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Leave your opinions on what weapons you think might need a little bit of a nerf, might need a little bit of a buff in this game, and of course just, leave it down in the comment section down below and we'll have a little bit of a discussion down there. If you guys could drop a like on this video, that would be absolutely incredible. Let's go ahead and go for 780 likes. If we could hit that, that would be amazing. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and not already subscribed, and let's go ahead and break it down, get right into it. So we've had patch 1.07, which did come with a lot of updates into this game. Then we had 1.08, which also had balance changes, and as of right now, there is still a few standout weapons in this game, most notably something like the M4, the MP5, the MP7, the AK. Those are all weapons that are pretty standout in this game, and at first, your first opinion is going to be like, what the heck, why is it where certain weapons are just a lot better than the other weapons? But if you look into the history of Call of Duty, whether you like it or not, I'm not the one that designs these games, so don't get mad at me, but it's an interesting thing where Call of Duty is always trying to develop the game in a mix of casual and public match, which is obviously their biggest market, but also for competitive play, and it's pretty much always been like this, and I can't really think of a Call of Duty game where it was really mixed and mastered with the amount of weapons you could use in competitive play. If you look at the professional players in games, of course, who are competing for, thousands, millions of dollars on the line, they're going to use the best of the best every single time because you don't want to put yourself at a disadvantage. And of course, in this game, they're really drawing themselves to the M4 as well as the MP5 SMG, and that's the way it was in a lot of other games. If you look at any of the games we've had traditionally in Call of Duty, if we look at something like a Modern Warfare 2, we had the FAMAS, the ACR, the UMP. It's been this way for a while. If you look at Modern Warfare 3, we had the ACR, we had the MP7. There usually is a standout weapon that's a little bit better in each class, just so it makes it easy for professional play, and it's no different from that in this game. So I don't think that, obviously, if you want to go full-on tryhard, the best tryhard class setup in this game as of right now would be the M4 primary, but what really makes it broken is the fact that you can go with overkill. So I just want to say that, first of all, that the weapon balance in this game, I don't think it's the best, but I don't think it's the worst, and I think that, having a couple weapons that are standout, that I see people commenting like, why is the M4 and the MP5 so good? It's designed like that on purpose, and it is kind of weird, but traditionally it's supposed to be like that, and then that the rest of the weapon class is sort of more balanced, and that's where we can talk about a little bit of the issues. Now, first of all, I want to talk about the 725 shotgun. We'll get into the mini UZI, and we'll get into assault rifles in a second here, but the 725 shotgun, which has been nerfed a couple of times, and this weapon is still ridiculously strong in this game, and I think what really points out a little bit of the problems with the balance is the fact that we got shoot house 24/7, and of course on a map like that, it really does play into a shotgun that was already one of the best guns in this game beforehand, before they added shoot house 24/7. So even after adding a nerf, but then adding that mode in, really does keep the shotgun, the 725. I think it is a little bit overpowered as of right now, regardless of the damage at range. Now, I agree, and I think that shotgun should be strong. My thing is that I think there's probably two things that make this shotgun ridiculously strong. Number one is going to be sleight of hand, and I'm not sure why they haven't addressed this, like not take away sleight of hand on that weapon, but just lower the reload time of that weapon. It is a double-barreled shotgun, but when you have sleight of hand, you're reloading it almost instantly, and you're able to get those shots off very, very quick. And then the next thing, and you don't really get punished for traditionally what you would get punished for in a double barrel, which would be you got 2 shots, and if you don't hit it, you're done. You are still done in a way, but you can bop, bop, duck around the corner, reload, bop, bop again. It really is that quick, and I think the main issue here that really makes the shotgun stand out as overpowered is overkill. And the fact that overkill, it has been in other games as a perk 1, but we've never had a game where you get basically 5 attachments straight up on your weapon for no cost. You don't have to give up perks. It's not a pick 10 system. You don't have to give up perks. You don't have to give up grenades. You don't have to give up your tactical. You don't have to give up anything really to go ahead and get the overkill. The only thing you have to give up is perk 1, and the most competitive perk 1s are probably EOD, EOD, I would say EOD, maybe quick fix and double time, but mainly EOD. So if you're willing to give up EOD, you can stack double primaries with 10 attachments, 5 attachments on each. And this is what I think Overkill needs to be addressed somehow, and I'm not really sure how they could nerf it. Honestly, my gut instinct tells me they're not going to address it and they're not going to nerf it because they want this game to be, you know, more fun for casual players and stuff. I'm not sure. I'm guessing, you know, obviously in more competitive stuff that is probably banned. I really haven't looked into it, but I'm just assuming it's got to be banned for that, or else everyone would just run it with the Overkill shotgun. But basically, you know, having that 10 attachments where you can stack with a shotgun, which is why you see so many 725s. It's not that everyone is using the 725 as their primary and running around. It's that it's basically free. Not free. You have to give up EOD. So it's like, do you want to give up EOD and turn your pistol, which, you know, there's the pistol balance is also a little bit off in this game. I think the Desert Eagle and the 357 are a lot stronger than the other pistols, which of course they should be a bit stronger because they're late unlocked, but I don't think there's much use for those first couple of pistols because of that. But it's like, do you want to give up one perk to upgrade that to an overpowered shotgun with 5 attachments? Of course you do, if you're going to try hard, if you're on a map like Shoot House. And even in the other, in another realm where, let's say perk 1 is Scavenger, right? You know, being Scavenger as far as perk 1, it's just to resupply your stuff, resupply your ammo, but you could just swap that out for Overkill, run a secondary, and you can't run the same weapon twice, but you can run something that's almost as good. You know, you could run an M4 AK, you could run an M4 Kilo, an M4 MP5, an MP5 MP7, which is, I was actually using that in the beta, MP5 MP7, overkilling that was a lot of fun in the beta. And then you don't really have to worry about ammo because you're getting double the ammo, and of course, you know, there's going to be ammo crates, but you're going to be able to pick up a weapon by the time you run out. So that renders Scavenger almost useless in this game in terms of that. So I think that the 725 and Overkill are things that definitely need balance in terms of weapons right now, and Overkill obviously is a perk, not a weapon, but it does affect that. That's one thing I would point out. I don't know how they would really balance it out. I think maybe limiting the attachments you can get on your secondary weapon if you use Overkill, or possibly, you know, changing the perks around. I don't really know. I doubt they're going to do that. Or of course just by nerfing the reload time on the 725, because you don't get those ridiculous long shots like you did before, but you still get some pretty nice one-shot kills, and having that fast reload time and the ability to still have a primary AR or SMG really makes it super duper strong. So where was I? Yeah, talking about the AR balance. Now, the AR balance, yes, the M4 is the standout AR, like I talked about the earlier in this video, but I do think the AR balance is fairly good as of right now, and I think that what they did with the first updates where they made the 5.56 ammo weapons a bit less effective at range really did help to stuff like the Scar or something like, you know, an Odin or a AK-47, which are honestly the AK was already really good, to be more balanced in this game, as well as buffing the FAL, I think was definitely something that was needed. So as far as assault rifle balance, I don't really have too much criticisms as far as it. I think there's definitely some little tweaks they can do with that, but I think it's fairly decent in terms of this game compared to other games. With the SMG balance, I think the SMGs category, it does have your MP5, your MP7 as the top 2 standouts, and then those middle class ones, you know, you have your P90, your PP Bison, your AUG, those are all really good SMGs. I think the balance there is good as well, but I would say the Mini Uzi is something that, I mean, when they buffed the Mini Uzi, they buffed the damage range, but the thing about the Uzi is that it has a slow time to kill up close, and some people don't notice it because everything kills so fast in this game, but compared to the Uzi to other SMGs, it just cannot compete up close with that with the fast time to kill. And just because, you know, you see me going off in the gameplay with the Uzi, or you see your favorite YouTuber get a nuke with it, does not mean that it's a fairly balanced gun or an amazing gun in any regards. I think it's interesting that they buff the damage range, and yeah, sure, it's a good SMG for damage at range. The fall-offs aren't that bad, but the thing about it is, if I'm looking for damage at range, I'm not going with an Uzi, I'm going with a fast-firing assault rifle, right? I'll take an M13, or I'll take an M4, I'll take, you know, there's a bunch of different options that you could go with, or, you know, of course, even an MP7 or an MP5 with the 10mm ammo, they're just going to be able to outclass that Uzi. So I think that's one thing that is a weapon that I love the Uzi, but it's always been, has it ever been in a COD where it's been good? Like Black Ops 1, it was a little bit weak. I don't know, it's been in some other CODs as well, right? But I think that definitely needs a buff as far as I think the assault rifle balance is decent as of right now, some minor tweaks. SMG SMG balance is also fairly good. I think they could balance that a little bit more, but definitely the Uzi does need some more tweaks to it. Then as far as the LMGs, I think that the LMGs are interesting because you have some things like the MG34 and the PKM, which really have just such a fast time to kill. And it's interesting because all those SMGs have the same amount of bullets, or not SMGs, LMGs have the same amount of bullets to kill up close, but some of them are a little more slow firing. And something like the L86, I think, definitely could use a buff in terms of the LMG category, but I think more of that is not around the time to kills, and then the balance around that is not around the time to kills or the bullet damage, because they're all very similar, and they did tweak that a little bit in one of the updates. I think it's more around the utility with the LMGs, but that's mainly the thing that I had to talk about in this game. I think that there is decent weapon balance in this game, which I know people are going to say, what are you talking about? You know, no Call of Duty has perfect weapon balance. It's designed like this on purpose, that some weapons are better than others, but you do have weapons that have good strength for things, something like the Kilo. It has a great strength because it's not going to give you any recoil. Then you have stuff like the AK and the Scar, which are good at longer ranges because they don't have the damage fall off, even though you have to control the recoil. But there's definitely some things that need adjustments. I would say my biggest points that would need adjustments are some of those weaker LMGs. The mini Uzi, I think, definitely does need another buff in this game. I hope they do it, because a lot of games they've just left the Uzi as trash, and I'm not saying it's trash in this game, but it's definitely, it can't compete with some of those other ones. The assault rifles, I think there's some minor tweaks, but that's all more personal preference. And I think that the 725 and Overkill definitely need to be addressed, because Overkill, it's not just a problem with the 725, it's so good with other things as well. You know, rocking the MP5 and the M4, or if, say I even want to go with like an AK and an MP5, I mean, that setup is just so good. You swap weapons fairly quickly, even without the amped perk, and I think those are some things that could definitely be addressed in this game. Those are my thoughts in terms of weapon balance. As far as the marksman rifles and sniper rifles, I'm not the most familiar with those, so you guys are gonna have to let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, give your thoughts down in the comment section down below, and give some honest thoughts about things you think could be buffed and how they could buff them, or nerfed and how they could nerf them. And don't just leave comments saying like, the M4, it's a stupid M4, so broken, M4 broken, Activision, come on. You know, let's give some good feedback here and have a good discussion, because I love the COD community, and I think that if we talk about this stuff and definitely give opinions, I've seen a lot of people talking about Overkill and what makes it so strong, and I definitely agree with that, and it's going to be interesting to see what comes up in these next patch updates. But as of right now, I think we're starting to form into a meta. Those first patch update and the second patch update really fixed a lot of the balance issues, and we're forming into kind of a meta with the weapons, and I think that we need to definitely address some of these other issues before, you know, the meta just gets too comfortable and it's, you know, too late to adjust, or they start adding, you know, DLC weapons are going to be coming up soon as well, and it's going to mix up a lot of stuff. But I hope they continue to update with weapon balance. Those are some of my opinions on it, and let me know yours in the comment section down below. Drop a like if you made it to the end of the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and that's about it, and I'm out. Peace.